Riding a massive DIY water slide is all about momentum until a structural failure turns a high-speed descent into a sudden, painful stop. After months of being closed, this was supposed to be the triumphant grand reopening of one of the most ambitious personal water parks ever built. But within hours of starting the pumps, the team realized their main attraction had become a total disaster. The day began with high hopes, but quickly devolved into torn plastic, grease-covered bodies, and a complete mechanical breakdown. Bringing a massive DIY project back from the brink of decay requires more than a few quick fixes. The team was about to learn that nature had spent the off-season dismantling their work from the inside out. 12 hours earlier, the energy was different. The weather was clear, the team was motivated, and the goal seemed simple: clean up and start sliding. But walking onto the grounds revealed how quickly an abandoned DIY space can turn into a wilderness. Thousands of liters of stagnant water had transformed the pools into a thick, foul-smelling breeding ground for millions of insects. Wildlife had moved in too. Frogs had claimed the stagnant pools as their own, and the team found fresh snakeskins tucked away beneath the slides. Nature reclaims these structures the moment the maintenance stops. Before any rides could happen, the team faced a massive, multi-hour biological cleanup. They scaled up the response, bringing in a JCB excavator to move the heavy mud, and deploying industrial pumps to drain the sludge from the main pools. The logistics were massive. After emptying the filth, they had to pump in thousands of liters of fresh water, a process that takes an entire afternoon to complete. The team pushed through the physical labor with their usual banter, using jokes to mask the exhaustion of a 6-hour scrub down. By late afternoon, the park looked functional again. The water was clear, and the smaller slides and zip lines were operating without a hitch. With the smaller attractions working, morale peaked. The team assumed the most difficult challenges of the day were behind them. They had successfully managed the water quality, but they had completely ignored the invisible degradation happening on the surface of their largest ride. The final test was the King Slide, a towering structure built from plywood and heavy-duty blue tarpaulin. The sun had spent months baking the plastic. On a microscopic level, the tarpaulin developed tiny cracks, turning a slick surface into a high-friction break. When water was thrown down the slide, it absorbed into the rough texture instead of lubricating it, leaving it sticky. Desperate for speed, the team turned to industrial solutions, pouring heavy engine oil directly onto the slide. When the oil wasn't enough, they escalated to the most extreme hack of the day, literally smearing their bodies and the slide with thick machinery grease. They even tried flooding the path with concentrated soapy water, hoping the added viscosity would finally overcome the drag. It was a chaotic attempt to use chemicals to brute force a solution against the fundamental physics of a degraded surface. This brings us back to the moment the King Slide finally gave way, after 12 hours of cleaning and chemical hacks. The weathered plastic wasn't the only problem. The plywood base beneath the slide had warped from moisture and heat, creating sharp, uneven pressure points that pushed upward against the tarpaulin. When the weight of a rider hit those hidden ridges at high speed, the sun-weakened plastic couldn't take the stress and tore straight down the center. With the main slide destroyed and momentum gone, the primary goal of the reopening was dead. No amount of surface-level lubricant can fix a deep structural failure. When the foundation is compromised, the physics of the ride will eventually find the breaking point. Instead of ending the day on a loss, the team pivoted. They abandoned the slide entirely, jumping from the high platforms directly into the pool. A sudden rainstorm moved in, turning the mechanical failure into a muddy celebration in the water. For this team, the day followed a predictable cycle. First, they build it, then they break their creation. Finally, they enjoy the wreckage. Before the sun went down, the team was already planning the future. They announced they would tear down the current structures to build Water Park 2.0 alongside a custom-built cricket stadium. In the world of high-scale DIY, a catastrophic failure isn't a reason to stop. It's just the necessary first step before the next upgrade.